Hey, Satori, can you hear me?
I can hear
You
you.
can? For some reason, I can't hear you. I'm trying to figure out why that is so. Hang on a minute. I'm not getting anybody. Well, can somebody talk? I'm not hearing any audio.
I can hear you.
Can
Hello?
you hear me?
Hello?
You can't hear anything?
Hello?
Can you hear anything?
That's crazy. Satori, you're unmuted. Can you talk? Let me see if I can hear you real quick. Yeah.
Can you hear me yet?
Wow, I cannot hear you. Can everybody else hear Satori?
Yes.
Yeah.
It must be my computer. Let me see what I got going on here. Ah, I know what the problem is. Hey, I can hear you guys now. Sorry about that. That was obviously user error, and I'm the user. So. Man, how's everybody doing tonight?
Lord.
Live stream was good. We probably had the best feedback response of any live stream we've done. And y'all, I'm telling you, it's like I won the Super Bowl. I'm going to Disney World after the COVID thing goes away. No, okay. I'm going to the Mammoth Orange. Okay. Anybody love it? Any Mammoth Orange fans out there? Anybody like the Mammoth Orange? I know you, Jesse. I know you guys do. You practically live there.
Yeah, we only have like 3 restaurants here, and that's one of them. So.
Yeah.
We're good friends with Peter, so we got the hookup.
Oh man.
I like it. Good.
I took Gage there about a year ago, and we just never went. I don't know why. I went when we first moved here. I went several times, but we were out doing some stuff, and I took him there. And now every time we come back from Little Rock, can we stop by the Mammoth Orange? So.
Hey, and they're remodeling it too, so.
It feels like when I go in there, I'm back in 1978. Like
yes.
It's like none of y'all, the adults will know what I'm talking about. It feels like I'm going into the boar's nest from the Dukes of Hazzard, just a smidge. Like I expect Boss Hogg to be somewhere in the back stealing money from somebody. You know, like the Duke boys, I expect him to come in, you know. Anyway, I'm chasing rabbits. But I love it. I love it. Steve looks comfy. Somebody's commenting. I'm trying to, oh my goodness, Steve, you've got it going on. I like it. I was thinking today's a good hammock day.
Nice. Yep.
All right. Let's see what I can do. Let's see the damage that I can do here. All right. Let's see. Okay, perfect. I am going to share a screen, and I'm going to call on one of you to give me your opinion about something, okay? None of this is political, I promise. It's not even necessarily spiritual, but I'm going to just get you guys talking. So don't feel like I'm picking on you. I'm just going to randomly pick somebody, okay? So don't leave Zoom. Don't go, oh my gosh, it's okay. I promise. You can't be more ridiculous than I've been in my videos lately. So you'll be fine. Let me see if I can share this screen. Here we go. All right. All right. Do you guys see just the logo? Okay. You don't see anything else?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I'm just making sure. All right. So, very cool here. All right. So this is going to go to Satori. All right. Since you're first that I see. All right. This is the question. This is a would you rather thing. So it's totally an opinion. Would you rather be, let me back up. Would you rather be quarantined with Bigfoot or quarantined with unicorns, Satori? It's a real deep question. You'll have to unmute yourself so we can hear you. Okay, you're shaking your head. Rather be quarantined with Bigfoot or unicorns? Yeah.
Bigfoot. I don't know.
Well, one of those two things are real, Satori. Which one do you think's real? Okay, it's Bigfoot. Okay, all right. Here's another one. I'll go into somebody else. I'll pick on somebody else. All right, Dawson Miller, what is up? How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
All right, so here is your question. All right, would you rather be quarantined at home for 7 days straight or be in class all day with your least favorite subject for 2 days?
Well, are we counting the quarantine that we're doing like right now, like stuff that we're doing right now? If that,
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
doing
much
quarantine
like no,
because,
like
you know,
you
we
cannot
do
leave
some-
your house. No, like you cannot
Ooh,
leave
that's a
your
hard
house.
one. That means I can't. Oh, that means I can't go fishing. Oh crap.
Yep.
Probably with my least favorite subject.
What is your least favorite subject? I'm just curious.
English, because it's the hardest one.
English, maths. Okay. All right. That's full. All right.
Math's my favorite. And history. Math and history.
All right. Haley Blunt. What's up, girl? How you doing? You got to unmute yourself.
I'm great.
All right. Here's your question. And this is a would you rather. And this is a really deep question. This is really, really, really critical. I think everybody's going to like this question. So would you rather have Netflix as your only streaming platform with your parents always watching with you? Okay. Grown-ups always watching with you. Or would you rather have Disney Plus as your only streaming platform with all your brothers and sisters always watching with you? Which would you rather have?
Disney Plus.
So you would rather watch with your siblings than with the old people? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't find their movies very interesting.
You don't find what? Okay.
I don't find most of their movies very interesting.
All right. At least you're being honest, you know. All right. Let's go down the list. Anna Grace Bailey, what is up? How are you doing?
Hi. Good.
All right. Here's your question. This is perfect for you. In fact, I totally don't know why you're getting this question. All right. Here's the question. Okay. Assuming there's nothing normal left to drink, would you rather drink a whole bottle of hot sauce or a whole bottle of blue cheese salad dressing? Now think about this.
That's a hard one. I don't know. Would I have something to like drink afterwards, I guess? Like
It says there's nothing normal left to drink. So I guess there's no water, no milk. So I guess this is it. You guys are drawing all over this. Man, come on. Squirrels. All right. So
probably the salad.
Wow. What's your favorite salad dressing?
I don't know. I think the salad dressing because the hot ranch, just regular ranch. I don't know. I'm go plain.
Yeah. You know, there are people when they say ranch, they say it as two syllables. They say ranch. You know, like there's two. It's really one thing. Just personal observation. It really has nothing to do with anything. But hey, that's a good answer. All right. You could get gizzards. What in the world are you talking about, Dawson? Okay. All right. Mr. Steve, you look like you were on a cruise ship with trees in the background. Okay. I'm going to ask this question for you. I will share it so you can see it. This is really good. This is really deep. It's going to tell me a whole lot about you, man. All right. For the rest of the quarantine, would you rather be able to watch Frozen 2 or watch Tangled? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have picked you for this question, Steve. Golly, I didn't even know this was the one. Yeah.
I guess I'd have to say Tangled probably.
Have you seen both of
I'll go
those?
with Tangled. I have.
Really? I don't know that I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, I live with Abigail.
Okay. True story. I've never seen Frozen all the way through. I've never seen Frozen 2. I've never seen Frozen 3, which is not out yet.
Frozen's better than Frozen 2, that's for sure.
It's kind of what I've heard. Disney's not really good at sequels, it seems like. All right. Well, thank you, Steve, for that insight. This is good. Let's see.
Sure.
Grace Rhodes, what is up, girl? You look like you've got like formulas or something in the back. Like, what in the world is that on that whiteboard? I'm being nosy.
Oh, that's my mom. She's all technical and stuff. That's her.
Technical stuff. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're joining us tonight. So let me share this screen with you. This is a deep question. Would you rather live off of canned meats only or live off only on canned vegetables? Like you have for the rest, I guess, of the quarantine, you have to eat canned meat, not just meat like you go in the store buy, but like canned meat, like, Spam, potted meat, Vienna sausage, or canned veg. What do you think?
Well, I don't like any of that kind of meat, so I'm gonna have to go with veggies.
All right. What's your favorite vegetable?
Yeah. Ooh, that's hard. Lima beans.
Wow. Okay. See, I don't think potatoes should be counted as a vegetable. I've had this. I know it really is. The boys and I, we go round and round with this. Dawson apparently will eat Vienna sausage. All right. Why do they call it Vienna sausage? Don't know. All right. We'll do a couple more of these. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Let's see who I need to ask this question to. I'm trying to look at the questions now and actually ask people that I'm kind of curious. Okay, Zane, I'm going to ask this question of you. So you'll have to unmute yourself. Here's your question, Zane. I think I know the answer to this. Would you rather be stuck inside with video games but no bathroom, or be stuck outside with an outhouse but no video games? What do you think, Zane? I can't hear you or see you, Zane. Are you in the bathroom? What are you doing?
You got to think about it. I think doing number 2. Can you not hear me?
Wait a minute.
Can you not hear me?
Just say do number 2.
You good?
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you. Would you rather be stuck inside with video games?
Yeah, like I think it would be kind of a chore if I didn't have a toilet.
So you would have a makeshift toilet somewhere. Have you done this before? Zane, you're muted, and I don't know. Can you even hear me? All right. Anyway, we're moving on. This is really, I don't need to know this. All right, couple of more. Let's see who we've got here. Ava Claire, what's up, girl? How you doing? You have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you, sweetie.
I'm doing good. Sorry,
You're good. Okay, this is a good question. I think you'll like it.
Can you hear me now?
So here's the question. We'll put it on the screen. Okay. Would you rather be quarantined at your house all year with your friends, or would you rather have school year round? I think that's an easy question, but that's just me.
That's an easy question. Be quarantined at my house all year with friends. That's an easy question.
Okay.
Definitely going with option 1.
Okay. They should have said with your frenemies. You know what a frenemy is?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Anyway. All right. Well, hey, you're being honest. I think that's great. Okay. Let me get an adult on this one. Let me see who I need to pick on. All right, Dan. I see you there, dude. You're making me want to go to sleep, Dan. All right, Dan, here's your question. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Or is that just a fake picture? Okay, I see you. Okay, I'm sorry I'm making you get up. All right, here's your question, Dan. This is huge. This is important. Would you rather be out of toilet paper or out of toothpaste, Dan?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with out of toothpaste. I gotta have toilet paper.
I agree with you, my friend. I do.
Uh-oh.
I agree. I think you're right on. Yeah. Did anybody run out of toilet paper? I mean, did you like, oh my gosh, I can't find any, can't go buy any? Did anybody have that issue? All right. Isaac, I see you smiling.
Nope.
Okay. All right. All right. Speaking of Isaac, my internet connection is not really good. I don't know. I'm having some shakiness. So, Isaac, here's your question. I'm going to try this here. Would you rather, Isaac Patillo, would you rather have good internet but no access to any streaming platform? Or would you rather have garbage internet but access to every movie made before 2015 in a hard copy? That's a deep question. I think that's on the Welcome to Whitehall sign, by the way. It's like the fine print as you drive into town. But anyway, what would you think? What do you think, Isaac?
You like movies?
Probably the second one.
Okay. You'd rather have garbage
'Cause,
internet.
I mean, yeah.
Which is what you have? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Isaac.
I mean, it can't get any worse. So if I could have all the movies, I mean, that'd be good.
Do you know how to play a VHS tape?
I do not.
Okay.
I could probably figure it out though if you help me.
Do you know what a top load VCR is?
No, I do not.
Okay. I'm going to send you a picture later. It's on
Dude, Brandon, I barely know what a top load is.
C-Dog, what is a top load VCR? Do you have one, Chris? I know you do.
No, I said I barely know what that is because I was.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Well,
I barely know what the top load is. I know what it is, but
Sherry Nykerk, this is
Yeah.
your question. All right? Don't hate me. I'm just curious. Here's the question. Sherry, would you rather have, okay, because desserts are running thin in a quarantine, would you rather eat chocolate-covered Brussels sprouts or would you rather eat caramel-covered mushrooms?
Oh,
I know.
gosh, they
Brussels sprouts or
disgusting.
caramel-covered. This is a good game we should play when we get back. So, say it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to participate. I'm going to have to go with Brussels sprouts.
Do you like them normally?
Chocolate.
Do you like Brussels sprouts normally?
I do, yeah.
I do not.
I do. Never had them with chocolate, so.
I feel like Brussels sprouts are really alien eggs, and if you eat them, the alien will hatch inside of you. And mushrooms, you know, I think of drugs, so I don't really do either of those. All right, let's see. Okay, man, there's so many of these, y'all. I'm just learning all kinds of stuff about you. Let me see who I haven't talked to in a while. Golly, who could I talk to? I don't want to talk to Tommy because he's driving, and anyway. Okay, I don't want to scare the world here. Aurora, I'm going to ask you this question. Okay, I think I know the answer to this because I think you're going to be truthful with me here. Would you rather be stuck in one room with your family for a week, or stuck in a room by yourself without your phone for a week? What do you think? You may have to read it. Can you read it? See it?
I'm definitely gonna go with I'm gonna be stuck in a room without my phone
Okay.
for a week.
So you'd rather be without your phone than your family. Wow. Is your sister in the room with you right now? No? Okay.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
she is. I'm sure she agrees.
Okay. All right. Hey, Tommy, are you driving right now? I don't know if he can hear me or not. Tommy Holland, can you hear me? I see you, Tommy. How you doing, Tommy? Are you going to talk? Okay. All right. One more question. Sophie Stone, here we go. This is the question for you. Sophie, would you rather eat only green vegetables for the rest of the quarantine or eat ramen noodles for the rest of the quarantine? You know what ramen noodles are? Or ramen noodles, depending on where you're.
Yes, definitely,
What do you think?
definitely ramen noodles.
Do you like ramen noodles?
Definitely ramen noodles.
Okay.
Yes.
I do not. I've tried them. You know, the whole thing, you go to college and you can't afford anything but ramen noodles. I've tried it and it's just like, that's where all the salt is. I mean, they're salty. They're gross. All right. Well, that's enough. We won't do any more of these, of these anyway. Let me take that off here. Sweet. So let me see if I can see everybody. Wow, we got a good group on here tonight. Oh my goodness. Sorry, the rest of you on the next page I didn't see. Oh my gosh, what's up? Kenley, Parker, Keenan, Miss Susan, Gage, Tucker, Brian, and Miss Kathy and Abigail. Abigail, good joke. I liked your joke about the elephants. Connor, man, you guys are great. So, show of hands. You guys see the message tonight? Does everybody kind of know what it was about? Roughly, raise your hand. Just raise your physical hand. You don't have to do the app. But anybody, can I see? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands, so nobody knows. Okay, a couple of you have. All right, I see you guys. My internet, I'm using a different internet tonight, so it may not be very, very good. So I'm going to ask some questions and get you guys to, as always, just raise your hand and I will call on you if you want to speak. And listen, every single one of you can talk. You don't have to just not say anything. You can if you want to, but I bet you've got something really cool to add to the conversation. So don't be scared of that. Let me see if I can pull up this. There we go. There we go. All right. So all right. So here's the deal. So tonight we looked at Psalm 23. We're going through, if you didn't know, if you're new tonight, you hadn't been around, we're going through each little phrase in Psalm 23. And so we're at verse 2 where it says, he makes me, being the Lord is my shepherd, he makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. And so here's the question. Is it hard for you to rest? Do you find it really hard to really, really, really rest? Anybody want to talk about that? Is it hard for you to rest? Yes or no? Let me see. Just raise your hand and I'll call on you. All right, MC, speak. What you got? MC, you're still muted. What's up?
I could have sworn you said Zeke. My bad. Okay.
You're good.
Anyways, but it is super hard for me to rest most of the time because a lot of times, well, now in the quarantine I'm not, but all the time I'm just going, trying to make sure I get everything done, everything turned in on time, all this good stuff. And I just try and make sure that I have it all handled. But then when I try to handle everything on my own, I keep myself from letting God handle things. And that happens to me all the time. That's a big thing that I struggle with personally.
Okay. Dawson, you struggle getting good rest?
I definitely struggle getting a lot of rest because, I'm always out trying to do something. My parents are always wanting us to rest, and I'm always asking, can we go fishing over and over again? And I always get on their nerves, and I'm always wanting to do something, never just chill out for a minute. I want to be out doing something, riding four-wheelers or something like that. And during school, especially with the basketball season, it was hard to get a lot of rest because you come home super late from those far games and then having to do homework still, and you weren't getting much time to rest and do things before the next day. So.
Right. Okay. Here's another question, y'all. So what's the biggest thing that keeps you from getting rest? Somebody that hadn't talked yet. What is the big thing that really gets in the way of you really getting good rest? Maybe physical rest, emotional rest, mental rest, whatever you want to call it. What are some things that get in your way, keeps you from doing it? Anybody? Ava Claire, Dawson, go ahead. Or Ava Claire, you're unmuted. Do you want to talk?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
So, here recently, I've been reading a lot at night. I'm currently reading the Twilight Saga, and the latest I've probably stayed up reading was 3 a.m. and it was like the other night. But I wasn't just reading the Twilight Saga, I was just reading random books as well. And it's not good on my body. I also haven't really been exercising or eating that well because, well, quarantine. I've been inside a lot. So I'm kind of trying to get my health back together and get more rest, which is, yeah.
All right, Dawson.
Lately in quarantine for me, definitely video games. Like, there's been 10 plus nights I haven't gone to bed till like 6 o'clock in the morning because I've been up playing Fortnite with friends. Wow. And I don't wake up until 3 in the afternoon, and then it's time to do schoolwork, and I'm like, whoops.
Whoops.
So, yeah, that's what it is for me.
How do you whoops and it's 6 in the morning? How does that work? All right.
Well, you really don't notice it whenever you're playing video games because each match normally, because we've been getting pretty far in the games lately, doing pretty good, and each game lasts 20-30 minutes, and you feel like it lasts like 5 minutes, so you feel like it hasn't been long, and then it's been 5 hours. You feel like it's been like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you're not focused on time. You're focused on getting a win or doing challenges and stuff like that.
All right, so Tori, you got your hand raised. What keeps you from resting?
Okay, so as most of y'all know, I have a quite large family, and a lot of them are, like, all of my siblings are all younger than me. And so one thing that's actually doing it right now is screaming in the next room and jumping around. And another reason
Do you have like a raptor from Jurassic Park next in the next room? Is that what's screaming?
It sounds like it sometimes. It sounds like it. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
And then we've got, like, with everybody, that means lots of doctor's appointments, running everywhere. That means if anything happens, it usually falls on, like, us or something. And so there's not a lot of time to rest, honestly.
Okay. Hey, number one thing that keeps me from resting, okay, is worry. Okay. I am a worrier. Anybody else want to talk about worry for a minute? Anxiety. Does anybody that feel comfortable sharing? Do you struggle with that, or what do you do to cope with that, or whatever? Anybody? MC?
Y'all, I cannot stress how much worry I've been going through during this quarantine, and not so much about the coronavirus and stuff, just about my day-to-day life. Like, just certain situations, friendships, all this different stuff, because, like, I can't see people, and I can't just go out and see my friends, right? So I start to worry and wonder, and I just overthink things, you know what I mean? And it's terrible. But the thing is, I remember one specific night, I just felt so overwhelmed and worried. I was just sitting there, I was freaking out, and it just hit me. Like, I was fine 2 seconds before it, and then it just hit me, and I was just feeling super worried, and I was just kind of almost panicking. But a couple minutes later, I was just like, no, I'm taking this thought captive, and it's not going to rule over me. because I know that the Lord has this in his hands. He's going to take care of it. So I'm not going to worry about this. I mean, this worry's doing me no good. It's doing nothing but hurt me. So, you know, I was just like, heck with that. I'm just going to trust. And that's harder.
Go ahead.
It's easier said than done. But once
Mm-hmm.
you do it, you're just like, oh, well, Jesus really does have power over my worry. So,
well,
you know,
you use the phrase "take that thought captive," and that you know, and I know you probably know this, but others of you guys may not. That comes from God's word, where Paul says we take every thought captive. And the best image I've got of that is when you're worrying, there's just all kinds of things, and the more you think about it, and you're by yourself, the more sometimes the worry gets big, and it just causes you just can't settle down and physically rest, mentally rest, spiritually rest, emotionally rest. And I've got a little chorky named Zeus, and he will run all over the house and jump and just like a bullet going all over the place. And he's kind of annoying. And one time he was running and he just kept annoying, just jumping over me. And as he jumped over me, I did the Thanos glove thing, Infinity Gauntlet thing. I just went up and grabbed him in midair. Like he jumped and I just went whoop, and I grabbed him. And I thought that's the image of all these thoughts are going around. You grab it and you take your thought captive and you give it to God and you say, God, you know, I can't handle this. This is good, y'all. Hey, couple of things I want to share just to recap for tonight. I'm not going to preach another sermon. You guys have already seen it, or you can go back and watch it later. But I just really want to stress, because now we're in a situation where we're having to slow down somewhat. Maybe we have been busy, but I got to tell you, I've been really, really busy and I've been stressed some, but not anything like when things are normal. And so in a crazy way, I'm physically rested and mentally maybe somewhat rested. And God's been reminding me, Brandon, you need to lay down in green pastures. You need to stop. And so when he says that, he's talking about rest. And I talked about there are two kind of layers to a shepherd making a sheep lay down in green pastures. One is the sheep will run after everything in the green pasture. He'll explore, he'll roam, he'll want to go eat, he'll follow the herd, he'll want to go over here to the stream, look at the rock, because sheep are pretty dumb. But the other thing is he'll run right by the green pasture and starve. And so there's this idea of I can't stop, I'm missing out. And then there's this idea I've completely missed the opportunity, if that makes sense. So does anybody want to talk about that? Does anybody want to speak to that about, those two options? I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes, you could totally do something, but just because you could do it, God's like, you don't need to. Rest. That's running after the green pasture. Or some of you're so busy going after something else that God makes you stop long enough to realize, hey, I've got something for you here. All right, MC, you're up first. What's up?
Okay. Personally, I think that a lot of times I'll run after the things in the green pasture instead of just stopping and realizing that I'm at a place where I can rest. I keep running after things that I think, I shouldn't say necessarily fill me, but I'll run after things that I think I'll enjoy. And when I end up doing that, I end up getting so busy, and especially this past season and volleyball and dance, cheer, all that other stuff, I just got so busy that I was like, I couldn't fit the Lord into it. I wasn't basing my calendar off of him. I was trying to squeeze him into it, but there wasn't enough room to fit him in because I didn't build it on him. So honestly, I think that I just run after things a lot. But I think we all have our moments too. So, if
you guys do what everybody else does, you're gonna wear yourself out. And there's this pressure. You don't want, it's the fear of missing out. It's FOMO. You feel like, well, if I don't go to this thing, everybody else will be there and I won't be there. It's funny to me. I think people have FOMO about everything sometimes but church, but that's another sermon. But really though, people are like, well, I've got to go try out for this because everybody else is. Well, maybe we need to ask God, do you want me to do that? And sometimes God will be like, whatever. But sometimes God's like, well, why would you do that? Why would you add you're always tired and stressed. Why do you need another? Maybe you need to prioritize and do the best, do the thing you love the most or that you feel called to do. Aurora, which of these, running after green pastures, running by green pastures, what are your thoughts on this you wanted to share?
I think my main thing that I do is run by it instead of actually sitting there and actually looking and just staying calm. Because instead, I will just go by it and do something else instead.
Right.
Even though, hey, I'm thinking, oh, I probably need that, but I don't. Just because I do, I don't know why. And I think that's my main thing.
Okay. Dawson, what do you want to add?
I think I'm not one or the other. I'm both. I do both. Like I was saying earlier, I'm always I always have a chance to go lay down and just chill out. But no, I'm always asking, can we go fishing? Can I go buy this fishing pole? Can we go ride 4-wheelers? Can we go play basketball or something? And I'm always asking to do something until the time comes to actually have to go do something that I don't like working. Then I'm always wanting to rest. Why don't I get the rest instead of asking y'all to do those things, and I might be ready to go work and stuff.
Right.
So I do a little bit of both. I run away from them, I run to them, and run right by them.
Okay, that's a good answer, an honest answer. Here's a great word from the Lord when you need to rest. And there is a lot more to this passage than I'm going to share. We don't have time to get into it, but y'all should really go back and read some of Matthew 11, like the verses maybe preceding Matthew 11:28 and then right after. There is a lot more. Jesus talks about carrying the yoke, and what in the world does that mean? I don't have time to explain right now, but he's basically saying, I want to carry your load. But Jesus says in Matthew 11:28, he says, come to me, all of you who are weary. That means you're frustrated, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed. He says, and those of you that carry heavy burdens, because he knows that if you live long enough, you're going to get in situations where you're just going to have the weight of the world on you. You're going to feel crushed, beaten up, tired. Some of it you brought on yourself. Some of it you didn't. It just, you can be doing everything right and the world just wake up one morning, the world will put the whoop on you. So it happens. So Jesus says, hey, if you're in that boat, if you are ever weary and, not just physically tired, obviously, but mentally tired, y'all emotionally tired, spiritually tired. There's such a thing as being spiritually tired. He says, come to me, bring it to me and I give you rest. The word he uses there, come to me, is basically drop it, just come and just drop it down and walk off. Don't just come to me and complain. Come to me and let go of it. Let him handle it for a while. Let him do some of the caring. Anybody want to talk about that verse? What do you think about when Jesus says, hey, I want you to bring me the things that are holding you down? Okay, MC.
Okay, sorry, my bad. But when I think of this verse, I just think of the fact that Jesus doesn't want us to carry around burdens. He didn't die so that we could just have our penalty for sin paid for and then walk around and continue to have to carry what we used to carry. No, he died so that we could have life and have it to the fullest. He doesn't want us to carry that. He wants us to shine for him and to live out the purpose that he has for us. He wants to carry that for us, because he overcame the world. He overcame all of those burdens. He wants to carry them for us because he has the power to. We don't have the power to carry those on our own and still live out that life to the fullest.
Yep. Yeah, I think you make a really, really good point. One of the things the devil loves is for us to be free, but not really live it and know it. Whoever the Son sets free, he's free indeed. And free doesn't mean you don't have problems. Free just means that the problems don't control you. The problems don't call the shots. Jesus never says when you're in the middle of a storm to deny the storm. He never says it. He just says to keep your eye on him, to bring your burdens to him. All right, we've got to move along here. We're almost done, believe it or not. Just a couple of more things to share with you guys. Some thoughts here. So we talked about rest. He leads me. He makes me lie down in green pastures. And then he leads me beside still waters is the recharge aspect. So what do you do to recharge physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally? Okay. Recharge yourself. What are some things that you do? Anybody want to share? Dawson, what do you do to recharge?
The physically aspect of recharging it, I think I'd normally just sit around and watch TV or hang with the family and do things to recharge. Like say we just had a long day of working, I'll probably go take a shower and then just lay on the couch and watch Netflix or something.
Just
So
chill
that's
out,
what I
huh?
do.
Just hang out, that kind of thing.
Hang out. Now sometimes I'll recharge and it might not seem like I'm recharging, but say I'm working, I'll actually go out and play with friends, like go play basketball, just to just chill out from the working.
All right. So Tori, what do you do to recharge?
This doesn't get to happen a whole lot, but whenever I can, I would definitely say try to get either outside in a room or even just take a walk and just try to clear my head. And then I just I talk to God and I just tell him all the things that have been bothering me. And like in the verse that you just shared on Matthew 11:28, I mean, that's how I recharge. I just let it all out, just a few minutes and just kind of regather everything. And that's definitely what I would say how I recharge. That's just a personal thing for me. And I think it's something that is definitely really good because that's what God wants us to do.
I personally, one of the things that I do, believe it or not, is I try to exercise, and that's one of the things I haven't done a good job of during this pandemic. Until the last week, I've just gotten really serious about it, and I mean, there's just sometimes I've just got to go clear my head. And you would think, doesn't exercise make you tired? It does. There's just something mental about it, and even spiritual about it, where you just kind of, I don't know. I probably shouldn't say the story, but Isaac Patillo will know what I'm talking about. Isaac, you remember when you walked in with your dad and I was working out and I was running as fast as this fat boy could run?
Yes, sir. You were working very hard.
I was walking, but I was running, buddy. I was frustrated about some stuff, and I don't know. It just helps me. Does anybody else exercise help you guys kind of recharge, or is that like, dude, heck no? All right. Anybody want to talk about it? You don't have to, but anybody want to talk about it? Chat's lighting up. So y'all are chatting about something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
MC says she likes to sing. That's great. So Tori says yes. I assume yes to singing. I like to rap. So that's how I recharge. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So a couple more questions here. So like I said earlier, he leads me beside the still waters. That's recharge. That's sort of a peaceful, still waters aren't those running waters, even though that can be kind of cool too, to hear running water, a brook or whatever, running water. But he leads me beside still waters. That's just this peace and easy feeling. Sound like the Eagles. Anyway, but still waters, y'all, we need to recharge. When we learn to depend on God, that's when we recharge. When we learn that it's not all on us, that we can bring our burden to God, that is when we really, we get to kind of, plug into the power source, so to speak. Here's the verse, man, right here. This is a good one to memorize. Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. That seems like one of the most redundant verses in the Bible. Like, okay, God, I know who you are, but what do you think it means to be still, first of all? And what do you think it means to know that I am God? Well, let's just talk about that for a couple of minutes. What does it mean to really be still? And what does it mean when you're still to know that God is God? Anybody got any insight to that? All right, Chris.
the being still aspect to me is not only an act of being still on the outside. You got to sometimes quiet your own voice inside of your head, or me, the voices, and it's all me. Don't worry. um, you have to take a spiritual quietness, and at that, for me, at those moments, that's whenever after, of course, I've spent time in His Word and everything, meditating on that.
I think you make a good point about not just the outside, but inside, and the voices, the worry, the
right.
Maybe something people told you that day. Maybe you've had a day of conflict, and you could be in a work environment where your boss berates you, or your friend says something at school that's hurtful, and you hear that. It's painful. And you can let that be the narrative of your life, or you can be still and let God, who is the author and perfecter of your faith, be the voice that matters, the one that kind of rises up. MC, you got your hand raised. Is that from earlier, or do you want to say something now?
It's from now too. Do you mind if I say something?
No, go ahead.
All right. Well, a lot of times I take Psalm 46:10 literally. Like, I will just get still and make sure there's no noise around me and just sit in the presence of the Lord. And honestly, those are the times when I just sit there and I'm like, Jesus, just show me the misunderstandings that I have about your identity, and the misunderstandings that I have about how I think of you. Because a lot of times I think that when I get busy, I start to have a muddied up vision of the Lord. And I just kind of I forget who He truly is. I forget that He's in control and He's got this and He's able to take care of me, and He will. So I personally just like being still in quiet, and just thinking about who He truly is, and remembering how much He loves me. Just thinking about those things, like, it's super comforting for me, at least.
All right. Muddied up. I like it. I mean, that's not good, but I like the way you say it, because that's what happens. So I talked a little bit tonight about margin. So tell me, some of you guys talk about this, and I'd love to hear from some of you guys, even that hadn't said anything yet. That's fine too. What is margin, and how does margin help you rest and recharge? Anybody want to raise your hand and give it a go? What is your definition of margin? And how does margin in your life help you rest and recharge? Anybody want to tackle that one? All right. Nobody? So I heard this in a sermon years ago. It stuck with me because it's true. Relationships happen in the margin of your life. All right? Relationships, meaningful, deep relationships, not superficial, oh yeah, we're friends, but you really never talk. I'm talking about deep, life-changing relationships happen in the space of your life. They don't happen in the crammed part of your life. They happen in the time where you give some space, some time. And those include close friends, hopefully people that love the Lord like you do, and it can help you grow, can pick you up when you're down, and you can pick them up when they're down, and you can encourage one another, love one another, all those things, pray for one another, all the one another's, but also your relationship with God, that should be the most important relationship in your life. It happens in the margin. So when you have no margin, when there is when you are full up and there is no room to breathe in your schedule, what do you think happens to those relationships? They become real shallow, real superficial. And it starts with God. And if your relationship with God's superficial, it trickles down, I promise you, to every relationship. And I see it all the time where people are so tired, they feel like I've got to cut something, and they cut church, or they cut school, or they cut a lot of things. And it's really a priority thing. And so when you have that space where you get recharged of those relationships, really, especially the one to your Heavenly Father. Anybody want to speak to that? Look at what the chat's. MC should write a book. Yep, probably so. And then Ava Claire would read it at 3 a.m. Okay. Anybody want to speak to MC? You got your hand raised. Anybody want to speak to the idea of margin?
I mean, honestly, I think that I filled up my margin this last year. I got so busy with everything that I was focusing on me and everything that I was trying to handle on my own, that it just got to the point where things were starting to fail, and I didn't even realize why. It was because my margin was full. And I think that it's super easy for me to fill up my margin and not even realize it and overcommit. Like my mom was talking about it the other day. She said, girl, you got to make sure that I don't overcommit. And I was like, I got you,
Yep.
Mom. But I mean, it's super easy. It's super easy to do blindly sometimes. And I mean, I do it all the time, and it's something I just have to keep a focus on and make sure that I'm not, it's something I have to check on every once in a while, so that, because I don't want anything to fail in my life, especially not my relationship with the Lord and not my relationships with the people in community with me, because that is just trouble and I don't want that.
So last thing I'm going to share tonight, that's good, MC. Overcommitting is you have to learn to say no so you can say yes to something else. Hey, here's the big takeaway from this message tonight. And this is something maybe you should think about, screenshot this, write it down, whatever. You and I will never be able to really completely rest. And I'm talking about like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We'll never be able to recharge physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually without a relationship with Jesus. When we're not listening to the shepherd's voice, we're going to get in lots of trouble. The sheep that I filmed a couple of weeks ago that you guys saw again tonight in the video, I put a clip in the video. Rick and Beth Cook and Tanner Cook, I don't know if you guys know them. They own those sheep. They gave me permission to go out and film them. And Tanner was telling me, he said, Brandon, I'm telling you, sheep are just dumb. He goes, sometimes we'll look and we can't find the sheep, and we'll look out in the pond and they're floating like this and they can't get out. They got in a pond and they can't get out, or they'll just get stuck in a fence. They'll get their head stuck in a fence and they can't figure out how to get out. Or they'll wander over to a part of the field that has no grass and they're hungry and they won't come back where there's food. He goes, and then, when you stop and think, that's what God calls us. So what do? When we're so busy running around the green pasture or running around and trying to fill up our life with all this stuff, we tend to get in a mess. And so we really need to hear the voice of the shepherd say, don't go over there. I don't care that everybody's going over there. I don't care that you went over there 2 weeks ago. You can't go there. Maybe you did that. Maybe you've done this, whatever that is, for 5 years. And it was a part of your identity. And God's like, we need to go this way. That's hard, y'all. Anybody got any thoughts about this? You'll never be able to rest and recharge completely without a relationship with a shepherd. Anybody want to talk about it for a minute before we pray and go? All right, MC. MC, you there? You're still muted. All right. Maybe we lost her. All right. You guys have been awesome tonight. It is so good to see you. I'm just looking at everybody that's on here. Anybody got anything you want to share before we pray and go? Anything major prayer request you want me to pray about real quick? All right. Before I pray, we take off. Hopefully, we don't have a date yet, so this isn't official. We're looking at maybe sometime in June, starting to have some kind of group worship, and I'm talking about church-wide, not youth. But in the next few weeks, one of the ideas I'm thinking about having on a night when it's not raining or anything is maybe trying to figure out a thing we can do outside, not games or anything, but maybe just come together with chairs very far apart spaced, and just for a few minutes we're going to pray, maybe sing a song or two, and have a devotional and do it there. And I don't know, I want to be very careful about it. Don't want to freak anybody out, and those that won't feel comfortable coming, they won't anyway. But I appreciate you guys being on Zoom. It is encouraging, not just to me, but to other students who have been coming every week to see you guys here tonight. And thanks for watching. And I'll, by the way, have that link on YouTube. I'm going to send it out here in a minute. If you know people that missed, reach out to them. You guys reaching out is more effective than any of us adults doing it. So, reach out to some students. There's some students we have not talked to since March the 11th. I mean, literally, you may have seen them, you may be talking to them, but your life group leader hadn't, and I hadn't. So, your help with that would be tremendous. Anything else to add before I pray and we go? All right, let's just pray for a minute. If you'll bow your head right now, let's just be still for just a minute and know that He's God, and I'll close this. Lord, thank you for being our shepherd. Thank you for always having our best interest at heart. God, help us to learn how to hear your voice. And Lord, more importantly, give us the faith and the will to obey it when you tell us to go the direction you're telling us to go. Lord, we are sheep, and we get in trouble, and we need you, Lord. Help us to learn how to depend on you. Help us to be still, to lie down in that green pasture, and to know that you're God. Help us to rest and recharge by the still waters, Lord. I pray that over these adults that came tonight, these students as well. Lord, you would bless them, that you would give them a peace that makes no human sense because it comes from your Spirit. It's supernatural. God, we lift up, I lift up every student and adult that's here now. I pray for so many of them that aren't. God, that you would continue to speak to their hearts. Lord, you don't need our broadcast. You don't need this Zoom. You don't need me, Lord, to talk to these students. So, Lord, I'm asking you as the great shepherd to shepherd them when we can't all meet. And, Lord, make it possible for us to get back together soon. And in the meantime, God, we're going to grow and we're going to trust you. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, guys and gals, it's been good seeing you tonight. It's been a good night. Can't wait to see you guys soon. I'm going to let everybody unmute themselves and say bye. Several have already gotten off, and that's cool. Understandable. So everybody's unmuted.
Everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Reverb. Bye, guys.
Bye.